Marc Emery, the last time I was high was quite some time ago, and I had to stop because I had kids and I wanted to be responsible for my kids, and part of me thought that that was a way to be responsible. But another big part of it for me was that I got anxious. And and didn't have anxiety attacks, but I sure didn't like it. And the paranoia level went up and whatnot. What's the secret? Is there a trick? What the hell is going on? Is there some sort of a dusting on the leaf? Am I getting some bad weed or something? For the people out there who can relate to what I just said, what do you say to that, Marc Emery?
Well, if you're under a lot of pressure, you have to be careful about the times you psychedelicize yourself. You know, if you have kids and
psychedelicize.
Now, I used to smoke marijuana before I went in the front door to see my kids after I got home from work, because they're all boys and they'd all want to jump on me and tussle and stuff like that, and sometimes in order to get to the right headspace, I'd have a joint, and then that way they could jump on me and tussle with me and do whatever they want. Yeah, because I was. Same with driving. I'm a much better driver if I have a puff than otherwise. I've never had an accident in my life, but in 30 years of driving, I find that you always go the speed limit. You're very cautious, very thoughtful, considerate driver if you have a joint before you go. And it's all about the journey. It's not about getting there, and that's the lesson of marijuana. It's not about the goals, because you don't always reach your goals, and it's not about the end result, because you don't always get where you want to go. It's enjoying wherever you end up, and that's what pot teaches you. You've got to enjoy the journey.
You know what, I'll tell you this. When I found out you were coming in here, I was very excited. You've been in the studio many times before, and I always enjoyed listening to you speak. Whether people agree with you or not, you have to appreciate that you're passionate and you're a man of principle. You stand up for what you believe in, and not very many people do that. And how you're going about doing it is very admirable. The fact that you're going to, get a ride by your lovely wife, your very lovely wife, down to the border and be taken by cops into Seattle to face the music you got to respect that at the end of the day.
And you're taking a hit for two of your coworkers or your friends?
Well, it's fortunate that my two coworkers got probation, so they don't suffer jail. So I like that. There's nobody else's fate on my conscience, as it were.
All right, joining us in studio is Marc Emery. Are you willing to take some phone calls?
Oh, absolutely. Love those.
All right, it's a special edition of Open Phones, 280-CFOX. Do you want to talk to Marc Emery? You don't have to. We can talk about Roberto Luongo for all I care. It's Open Phones. We'll talk about anything. But the focus is with Marc Emery, who is facing extradition, going down to the U.S.
Marc, do you know if any of the prisons you're going to be going to, if they've got conjugal visits?
They don't. You don't have any conjugal visits in a U.S. federal penitentiary. That's a few.
Is it because you're an alien, in your words?
Actually, that is true, although in federal prisons there are no conjugal visits anyway.
Wow, I thought there was.
What about the weed? I mean, are you planning on, getting weed illegally within prison and then smoking it?
No, you have glaucoma, right?
Well, you don't,
medical condition, don't you?
You don't plan on that. Although when I was in Saskatoon Correctional for that 3-month sentence for one joint, there was pot in there. But jail joints are like the size of toothpicks. They are shockingly thin, and also I had to promise the director of the prison in that particular case that I wouldn't smoke pot, because he was worried that people would try and smuggle weed in just to impress me, and then inmates would end up getting caught trying to impress me. So I agreed not to smoke pot in the jail.
All right, the Prince of Pot is in studio. He'll take your phone calls. Are you psychedelicized right now?
No, didn't have time for that this morning. I would have,
280-CFOX. You know what I would like? I'm guessing that we're going to get a lot of people who support your cause and support you and the message that you're... I'm interested to find out from people who disagree with you, because there are people out there. And if that's you...
But they don't have cogent reasons. You never find a prohibitionist that makes sense. Like, in other words, what's the public benefit of 45 years of prohibition, billions of dollars, 2 million Canadians criminalized, all their families heartbroken about that?
Because it's a gateway drug, Mark.
Yeah, but it better be a gateway to something really dangerous if you're going to criminalize 2 million Canadians, because that's how many people have been convicted in 45 years in this country, too.
Pretty soon you'll be another one of them.
Yeah, there's that. Well, I've been arrested 23 times for marijuana, convicted jailed 18 times, and raided 6 times. And again, the most I've ever been convicted of in this country is passing one joint.
280-CFOX. You want to talk to the man? Here's your chance. Open Phones, a special edition, next.
Back to the Jeff O'Neill Show, next on the Fox.
The Jeff O'Neill Show presents Open Phones.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition for Open Phones, a special edition. Joining us in studio, the Marc frickin' Emery. Before we get to your phone calls on any topic, by the way, if you want to talk to Marc, that's perfect because he is our special guest. But if you want to talk about anything, now's your chance. It's Open Phones. We do have some rules before we get to your calls. Today on Open Phones, as always, we have a guest. Please be on your best behavior. Rule number 2, nobody from the DEA. Screw you, man. Nobody named Danny Heatley.
Screw you too, pal.
Nobody named Colin Hansen. Nobody on the cover of TV Week.
Well, that's a long list.
No, not anybody that has been on.
Oh.
On the current cover.
Current cover, okay.
And no math, because we suck at math. And, of course, the most important rule of all, this is a family program. There's children listening. Please.
Don't swear.
Let's go to line 1. It's Jay in Surrey. Go ahead, Jay. It's open phones.
Hey, how's it going? I just want to say, Marc Emery, you're awesome. For one, bullshit. I mean, you shouldn't be going down, but whatever you are, you're a man taking your punishment. And second off, just wondering if you're having a going away party before you take off.
Good questions, all of them.
Yeah, it'll probably be unfortunately, rather tearful kind of thing. I was hoping for, lap dancers and that sort of thing for my last time. Yeah, that's what I want.
Jody, are you taking notes?
Well, the thing is, they're going to put me with all my friends, and they're all going to cry, and it'll be one sentimental evening and stuff like that, whereas my alternative would just be a hedonistic lot of fun for one final night.
They should be celebrating this decision. You've made this decision. It's a celebration.
Yeah. There's a worldwide rally on my behalf, actually, around the world on Saturday, September 19th, here in Vancouver and cities all over the world, South America, Europe, Canada, the United States. We're hoping to get at least 1,000 cities where people are protesting my incarceration in their community there. So that's a little bit of a thing for people in Surrey to do, get a rally downtown.
And that will be at the Art Gallery, at the Vag?
Well, the one for Vancouver is, and there's ones in Surrey, Chilliwack, all around. And you can go to cannabisculture.com and see all the different cities and volunteer to organize the rally there for me. And sort of a tribute to the Prince of Pot. We're calling it Marc Emery Day kind of thing before I turn myself in.
And did you talk to the mayor to get it proclaimed officially, Marc Emery Day in the city of Vancouver?
Yeah, I'll be glad if they just give me my business license after all these years. So.
Line 2, Tommy in Burnaby. Go ahead, Tommy. It's open phones.
Hey, Marc. How's it going?
Very well.
Hey, Marc. I just want to say us Canadians stand behind you and what you mean. And we wish you all the best. And maybe when you come out, you could run for premier and we could screw this HSD.
Yeah.
Well spoken, Tommy. Thank you.
Tommy's all fired up.
The Jeff O'Neill Show. Weekday mornings, 6 to 10 on 99.3 The Fox.
Chris in Coquitlam. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi there. I called in a little while ago. I was talking about conflict in the world. That I had a video on YouTube. All the conflicts in the world. Talking about all the conflict in the world, one of them is the Mexican drug war. And this ties right into Mr. Emery and so on. By the way, I'm a supporter, and I don't believe in your incarceration. The United States had actually donated $5 billion to Mexico, and Mexico put in $7 billion to assist in the U.S.-led war on drugs because they say that most of those drugs, of course, come from Colombia, and they're exported through Mexico across the U.S. border, which is where the big market is, cocaine, marijuana, and so on. Now, if you ask any police officer, they'll say, we'll arrest 30 guys for drugs, but then they'll go ahead and put them through the prison system, and then you'll get another 30 guys, different guys, trying to
wake up,
deal with drugs.
Yeah.
He's almost done.
Here.
Wake up.
No, sorry.
Sorry, Scott fell asleep, Chris. Keep going.
Anyway, if all those police officers say, it's a lost war, you arrest 30 people and then...
Do you have a question, Chris? Just curious.
My question is, it would seem that drugs, in the end, all of them just need to be legalized.
That's not a question. How high was he? Trouble focusing. Got a text message. Hey, Marc, why don't we see Holland proclaiming how good of an idea it was by legalizing it in Holland? What do you say to that?
Well, Holland's is a great country that's had legal marijuana pretty well for 35 years. They still sign all the same treaties we do. We should have done what they have been doing for 35 years. And that's probably the most genteel, wonderful place in the world to go. I never met a single person that thought Holland was uncivilized.
So what you would suggest is perhaps cannabis cafes kind of thing in the downtown core of Vancouver?
Absolutely.